Hello, my name is Jack Gilbert and I'm clinical professor here at Arizona State University. I want to talk to you today about an ethical culture and elements of an ethical culture. And why is this important? Well, people often say that culture eats strategy for lunch. It can also eat ethics for lunch as well. The Ethics Research Center has for many years, every 2 years, done an cross-industry survey and around ethics and ethical behavior. And what they found over many years was that hotlines, compliance training, ethics training, codes of ethics did not make the difference in creating a more ethical organization. It was the culture of the organization that made a difference. So yes, we need those other things in place, but they're not sufficient. So I just want to offer today a look at ethical culture and talk about it in terms of 5 different daily disciplines: mindfulness, voice, respect, tenacity, and legacy. And I'm going to cover each of those rather briefly. So let's start with mindfulness. You know, sometimes we just feel something isn't right. It's like an internal voice that troubles us. And that's a really valid thing to feel, because if you look at high reliability organization work, one of the things they key on is these faint signals or weak signals that might indicate, for example, a breach in safety, as a really valid place to start and look at what might be happening, a potential weakness. So we feel that in ourselves sometimes. Sometimes something isn't right. And really the first step in this daily discipline is just to be self-aware, because sometimes we just keep going through the routine that we have and the assumptions we have, and we're not able to intervene or make a change even when something around quality or safety or ethics might be off, because we don't even bring it to mind. So that's the first discipline, the discipline of mindfulness. It's a very private voice. The second is voice itself, the ability to share something that's on our mind, and indeed the organization's ability to allow that. So you and I have been in meetings where nobody wants to be in the meeting anyway. So everyone is waiting for it to be over, and you have trouble with a decision being made, or I have trouble with the decision being made, and we look around and everybody else just looks just fine, and we're still troubled. And then the worst thing that happens is we say nothing, but we do go to a colleague afterwards we know well and say, what do you think of that decision? And they say, I didn't really like it, and you say, neither did I, but the moment has passed. So this courage to actually claim voice is really important, but it's equally important for the organization to allow voice. Because if the organization just shuts you down, if the meeting, you get shut down in the meeting because everybody doesn't want to have to slow things down, then that's the organization working against voice as well. So you can see that it's a complementary thing, but it's critical because it takes that private voice into a conversation. And I'm not saying, say to people, oh, this is a terrible decision, you're going to hell, I'm not going with you, all of that kind of thing. I'm just saying, having the ability to say, I'm rather troubled by this. Could we talk about it a little? Does anybody feel uncomfortable with this decision? Again, sometimes an act of great courage, but sometimes a necessary one, and certainly better than going to complaining to somebody else afterwards. The third discipline is respect. In the book Crucial Conversations, which is about having conversations on important issues where there are different points of view, and they can be emotionally different points of view, what is needed to be safe to share and to talk about it is respect. And we know that in some organizations, we don't have respect with some people. So we don't talk to them. We don't find out about what's going on. We in a sense, shut down our own conversation. We certainly talk to people we feel comfortable with, or groups we feel comfortable with, but maybe not with others. So the ability to actually adopt an attitude of respect and to receive it is really important to our ability to create a culture that is ethical. The fourth discipline is tenacity. If only ethical decisions were black and white, this is wrong, this is right, but it doesn't work that way in life. There are tensions, continual tensions, between trying to do the best thing, which may not be a simple black and white solution. For example, I've worked a good deal in healthcare. Most every healthcare organization wants to give the very best possible patient care. And most every healthcare organization wants to survive and make money in order to survive and provide that care. So there's not a limitless fund to spend on the best care for patients. So there are compromises to be made, but the tenacity comes in the ability to persist, to keep moving forward as best we can. And to aid that, we can create things like a value-based decision process, which will help kind of illuminate our own decisions and sort of bring it to mind, keep bringing to mind, you know, what does this have anything to do with our values? Does this impinge on our values, potentially, a decision we're making? So there's this sense of tenacity, of persistence, which is another form of courage, really. As we do in life, we persist on certain things. We never give up on our kids. It's that never giving up. As long as we feel that everybody's trying to do their best and is sharing common values. And the last discipline is legacy. Are we doing this just to get this thing shut down, or are we doing it because of the future? Does this fit with our values for the future? We're coming back to values-based decision making. Does this fit with our values for the future? If it doesn't, what are we going to do? And this is a tremendous challenge for leaders, because the more we compromise, the more we say, look, I know the right thing to do, but this is the expedient thing to do, and we need to do it right now. We need to do this, whether it be for income, whether it be for reputation, whether it be to smooth something over, whatever the reason. When we do that, what we're saying to the organization is our values are secondary to other priorities. And over time, that will erode the credibility of leadership. And it erodes our own credibility in working with each other. So these are the five daily disciplines. I ask you to embrace them and try them out in different ways. Mindfulness, voice, respect, tenacity, and legacy. Thank you very much.